Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine and welcome to day 19 of 31 days of Christmas crafting. We're going to get inky and messy in the first part of this video today because we're going to create our own background paper. You can see I've already had a little bit of a play. Look like I've got jaundice, but all will be revealed in a minute. And you could use scraps of card for this, but because, we're going to the trouble of making a background, I've got a whole sheet of A4 heavyweight super smooth cardstock, and I have just recently bought these mica stains from Tim Holtz, which is what is staining my hands. So I've got my hands on one of the Halloween sets. There's flickering candle and jack-o'-lantern, and I forget what the other one was. But I want to use this flickering candle, and you want to shake it. Can you hear that ball rattling? That's what you're aiming for. And I'm going to just lightly spray, if it will spray, because these do get clogged up and you're supposed to wash the nozzle after every spray. Oh, it's maybe a bit more than I want. I'm going to spray from further away and do some splatting and some fine misting. Okay, I'm happy with that. I don't want it everywhere. I've got it everywhere on my desk, that's for sure. Shall I put a bit of the jack-o'-lantern in as well? Maybe just a little bit. Just for a bit of contrast. And that's all I'm going to do because I want some white space. We will move those out of the way. They do tend to stain, and I'm going to find a bit of dirty kitchen roll. And I'm going to dab just to lift some of that colour a bit because I don't want it quite as stark or dark even. So I've got plenty of white space for the next bit of what I want to do. But there is a mica sheen to that, and I probably should have shaken it for longer. But I'm just worried about it going everywhere. Look, it's gone all over me. And then today we're going to continue using some of Hazel's products. And I'm going to come in with the star mask. And because I'm going to be cutting this down into smaller pieces, I'm just going to use this little bit here. And I'm going to use fossilized amber oxide. And let's just fold that over because I want a little bit of my glass mat. And so I'm just using a bit of cut and dry foam, taking some colour off because I don't want it too dark, and just randomly inking the little star bit. Now I've got a little bit of stencil smudge there. Try and be careful than me so that you don't get lines going over the edge of the stencil. And I haven't even applied any more colour to my cut and dry foam yet. I'm still going on the first bit. So just randomly, you will be much more careful than me about doing this, but I'm trying to be speedy. And I might have to pause halfway through. It's Monday afternoon as I'm filming this, ready for you for Tuesday. And I'm supposed to be meeting a friend for lunch and going for a walk. It is currently drizzling, so I'm not very happy about that. Okay, that is that. I am going to now do some inking. And I've got a couple of colours. I want to build up some texture. Just move this out of the way. And I am using... it's already on my block. I'm using this doodle, straight lines and squiggles from the Sentiment Circles stamp, and I'm going to just come in with some antique linen distress oxide and just randomly stamp, change the direction of it, try not to drop it on your paper so it splodges. Yes, I was looking forward to going for a nice long walk because it seems to be a long time since I've done a decent walk, but the weather is against me today. I think that will do for that. I don't think I want my antique linen again, so I'm just going to move it out of the way. You watch, I will need it in a bit. Pop that there to go in that packet later. Then in this set, the All About the Girls, there's this lovely, sorry for this rustling, lovely little splodgy one, and I'm going to come in with mustard seed, I think. I'm trying to keep to yellows, oranges, that kind of colour, and all will become clear why later on. Just randomly stamping this. They're great fun to use, these stamps, and I think Hazel's done a brilliant job of giving us sentiments, focal images, but lots of little backgrounds to play with as well. So I think that is all I want for that. Let's put my lid on my mustard seed. It's a great colour, mustard seed. I don't use it very often. Just stamp off there in that little corner, just to clean that. Pop that back on the carrier sheet, and I'm just going to pause you. Thought I was organised and I'd got everything, but I haven't, so just bear with a minute. Sorry, I just wanted to get my embossing powder. So I'm going to be using this star outline from the For the Boys set, or All About the Boys. Is it All About the Boys? All About the Boys. I keep saying For the Boys. All About the Boys. Yes, I'm using that, and I'm just going to wipe my sheet with my embossing body, and I'm going to just randomly stamp this star outline with my embossing ink. Obviously you use whatever colours you have got, and I don't mind if I haven't got a full impression, because this is all about creating backgrounds. Don't want too much, we don't want it to overpower. I think that will do. Just put the lid on. I've got Cosmic Shimmer Detail Embossing Powder in bright gold. I've got a scrap of paper, and we're just going to tip our powder on where we've stamped. See, my paper wasn't dry, and I've got a lot of embossing powder on there, so don't do as I do, do as I say. Make sure your page is dry before you apply your embossing powder. But if you've got little bits like I have here, just use a brush and brush them away. And in fact, actually, because it's a background, I don't mind if I get little sparkles. It's just going to add to the effect a little bit. Now I can see that I haven't got much up on this side, but we'll address that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to heat emboss that off camera and come back to you when I've done. So again, I've gone ahead and done that, not very brilliantly. You will take more time over than me. I'm just trying to rush so that you aren't here for hours, because this is just part one. It's just occurred to me, actually, this little shape here, don't know whether you can see that. If you stamped it the right way up, it's almost like a little Christmas tree. You could draw a little trunk and put a little sentiment underneath. I might have a go at that. That's nice, isn't it? Anyway, I've come in with another colour just to add a pop and to tie in with our Jack-o'-lantern mica Jack-o'-lantern mica stain, and I've got carved pumpkin, and I'm just going to come in with that, and my friend's just arrived, so I will come back later. I'm back now, and I've completely forgotten what we were doing. Had a nice catch up with my friend. Haven't seen her for probably 3 months. I don't know. We were trying to figure out when the last time was that we saw each other. But I think the last time I saw you, I just started stamping these. So I've got carved pumpkin, and I've got the little dots out of this circle sentiment set from Hazel Eaton, and I'm just literally randomly stamping. I love this because it's like little holly berries, and obviously I'm doing shades of yellow, orange and gold. You do whatever you want to do. And I've just sat down, and typically Blue is now meowing at the door, wanting to be let out. Let's hope she settles down. Let's do some stamping inside some of these stars, not all of them. We're just building up our layers and creating our own background. Obviously, if you haven't got Hazel's stamps and you haven't got the mica stains, use whatever sprays and stains you've got. This is quite relaxing, just building up our patterns and our layers, and by no means am I going to need all of this. Where do I want a bit? Here, I think. And I think that will do for now. That's a lovely little stamp, and it stamps beautifully. So far we have used antique linen, fossilized amber, mustard seed and carved pumpkin. Just pop that there and pop that back on here. Now, what are we going to make? We're going to pop this aside for a minute, and again, I have made a little prototype. I bought at the weekend, when I nipped into Marks and Spencer's, some of their tea lights. Now, I do like white company stuff, but it is very expensive and I'm on a budget. And this is kind of like the next best thing, really. And this is called Frankincense and Myrrh. And it is a blend of orange, clove and frankincense. And it is absolutely beautiful. And you get 24 tea lights for £5. Oh, if you could smell these, they are just divine, absolutely divine. I'm going to have to let the cat out. Hold on, I'll have to pause you. She meowed to come in and now she wants to be let out. Oh, she's such a funny thing. I've just opened the door for her and she looked at me and she's come back in. Oh, I don't know, she's playing with something on the floor now. She's going to meow again to be let out in a minute. Anyway, let's try and crack on while we can, because otherwise we're going to be here forever. Anyway, as I was saying, these work out at about 21p each. And I think what I'm going to show you to make today would be a good craft fair make. It would be good for Secret Santas, stocking stuffers, random acts of kindness, table favours again, you name it. Lots you can do with these for the money. And actually I am not going to get rid of this packaging because there's a foiling on here which is slightly debossed, and you've got these little cutouts in the box, so that's a little stencil right there. Can you hear him meowing again? We'll move those out of the way. Anyway, what I've made is a prototype using some card I'm not bothered about, just to see if it works. And I've made a little box that's in a sleeve, and it houses 4 of these tea lights. So let's see if we can make another one. Probably not, because you know what I'm like. You will need for your box a piece of card that is 5.5 by 4 inches, and you will need for your wrap a piece of card that is 3 inches by, mine's just over 6. 6 will do, okay? And for your box you want to score at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So here is my little box. You can see it's tiny, and scored on 1 1/4 all the way round, and I'm just going to carefully fold and burnish those score lines. I've seen people do this mega quickly, but I find that if you take time, you get a more accurate square 90-degree score, if that makes sense. So you know the drill. You've seen me make lots of boxes. I'm just going to cut up and wedge. And do that. If you start in that direction and then rotate, do that on all 4 sides. So you end up with this kind of shape, and you're just going to go round and carefully line up your edges and apply glue. I use, for this kind of thing, the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue, because you get a nice quick grab, and I'm just carefully lining up and holding it in place. You could use a peg or a bulldog clip, but just the more care you take over this little process here, the neater and more invisible your edges are going to be. So I'm going to repeat that on all 4 sides. If you tuck your little tabs in as you go, it's easier. I'm just going to pause you while I just do the other 3 corners. So I've assembled the box, and you can see that I've got my 4 tea lights fitting quite snugly in there. And what we need to do now is make the wrap. Now there are 2 ways you can go about this. You can score at 1 1/4 and then leave the 1 1/2 inch, score at 1 1/2 inches after that, and so on, so that you get a nice wrap. But I've seen other people do this method, and I'm going to have a go at this. So I'm going to place my sleeve and wrap it around to kind of get those rough score lines. Now the only thing about this is that you have got an overlap, and it will be on the bottom. But I think that that is okay, but it ensures that you've got quite a tight wrap, because sometimes when I've scored at the dimensions that I think it should be, it's been a bit too loose. So I'm just going to encourage that a bit further. It's difficult because this is really thick cardstock. And I think I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now, where I've got these fold lines, you can see the mica coming off my background sheet, where I've got these score marks or fold lines, I'm going to fold my card up so that it is nice and square, as it were. So that's nice. And then the next one, that's it, that one goes there. So this is my next one I want to bring along, and I'm just checking the fit as I go, because I want it to be quite snug. So this again, I'm going to just fold, make sure my sides meet up, and then give that a nice crisp. So we're coming round again, and we're doing this one, and that's about right. So again, folding on where we've teased it into place, making sure our sides are straight, because we don't want a wonky sleeve. And then just checking this last one. And that's fine like that. And it gives me a really snug fit, because when I've made boxes like this before, I've found that my drawer doesn't fit snugly always. So yeah, the only downside is that you don't get kind of like an invisible join like you do with other things. Now we're not going to join this just yet, we're going to join it around the box, but what I want to do first, no, we will join it around the box actually, so we've got that little process done. So you could use glue, you could use tape. I'm going to put wet glue on this edge here. I don't know why the cat is meowing. Since she went to the vet last week, I've cut down her food very, very slightly, and I think she is noticing it, and it's about 20 to 6 on Monday evening now, and I normally feed her at 6, and she's obviously jonesing, as we call it in our house, jonesing for food. So there we go. Just use my bone folder to burnish that, and there we've got a really snug fit in our drawer. So we need to decorate now. Let's just move these out of the way. I don't know what it is. I've got quite a big desk and quite a big space, but I end up working in a really tiny bit and yeah, just run out. So we're going to decorate our box, and we're going to bring back the piece that we worked on together, and we're going to do some cutting. So we're going to decorate the box part first. You don't need to do the sides because they're going to be hidden, and it will impede, an extra layer of card is going to impede the snugness of this, but that's very satisfying. And look how lovely and crisp those score lines are. Yeah, so we want 2 end pieces. Let me see if I can work this out. So we want 2, actually we want 4, because we want for the inside of the box as well. We want 4 pieces that are 1 1/8, which is this dimension here, by 1 3/8, which is this dimension here. So I think I'm going to cut my paper this way, and yeah, I'm going to cut those pieces and come back to you. I've had to bring a clean piece of paper in because the gold from the mica spray was dazzling me with my overhead light here. So yeah, we are getting a little bit dark outside, so the lighting's not brilliant. But I've worked out the dimensions you need to mat and layer your box. Obviously, if you are using a pre-patterned card like I did in my prototype, this is a Hunkydory background piece. You won't need to do this step, but I have gone ahead and I've worked out you need 4 pieces for the ends that are 1 1/8 by 1 3/8. So here are my little end pieces here that I've just cut randomly, and then I've tried to get some kind of order for the other pieces, but you will need 4 pieces for the sides. You need 2 for the outside and 2 for the inside that are 2 7/8 by 1 1/8, and then for the top, the bottom and the inside of the box you need 3 pieces that are 2 7/8 by 1 3/8. If you are using patterned card, you might want to decorate the inside of your box. I'm hoping my tea lights will still fit actually with the paper inside. I haven't tried that, so this could all go horribly wrong. So I've gone ahead and I've done the outside of my box. How cute does that look? You can see where I've cut continuously, so you get some kind of pattern going on, and I love the effect you get with the oxides. They're very chalky, and all this sparkle from those mica stains. And where I found there's not enough interest going on, I've just added another little bit of the little dots just to add a little bit of interest. So that's that all done, and I went around the edge with carved pumpkin. Cut the piece for the inside of my box here. Haven't gone around the edge. Am I going to bother for the inside? I'm not going to bother for the inside actually. I will for my end pieces, but I'm not going to bother for the inside. Let's hope that everything will fit. It should do. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Now I'm going to put my front end piece on before I do anything else, and I think actually I like this for my front end piece, so I'm just going to edge this with a little bit of carved pumpkin, just very gently edging round. putting the lid on, putting some glue on. So this is for the front of my box. Which way do I want it? I think I want it that way actually. Not that it really matters, but that's the way I want it. And I'm just going to put my wrap on actually before I go any further, just to make sure that it still fits. Yes, it does, because that's the orientation I want for my wrap. And you can see we're getting a nice little black border around the edge. And what I want to do now, you could put a little thumb notch in if you wanted to, but I'm going to put a little ribbon pull. So I'm bringing in my 1/8 of an inch hole punch, and I'm going to punch roughly in the middle. I'm sorry, Blue, you'll have to wait another 5 minutes. Since I tried to punch through that emery board, it doesn't want to punch very easily. I am going to invest, I think, in a crocodile that sets eyelets as well. But there we've got our little hole, and I've got some black ribbon pre-cut, and I'm going to just cut, fold it like that and do a little knot like so. This is going to be our little ribbon closure for the front of our box. And I'm going to just bring in my sharp scissors. I can cut this down a little bit because I won't need all of this. But it's better to have too much than not enough, isn't it? Should have used my fabric scissors. Right, so I'm going to thread those through the little hole here, like so. This could take some time because my ribbon is now frayed because I haven't used the right scissors. There we go, that's got it. So you can see the knot kind of acts as a stopper, and I'm going to splay my ends out like that and put some tape on it. I'm actually just going to cut a little bit more excess off that. I'll use my big clunking scissors. It's hard to get in. There, that'll do. And I'm going to put some of my heavy red liner tape over that just to secure it. If I can find the end. Does anybody else have trouble finding the end of the tape? That should do about right. And I'm just going to secure that there like that. And I'm not even going to take the backing off that tape. So there we've got a nice little pull. It's quite cute, isn't it? So now we can finish decorating our box. You don't need to see me do that. I'm going to decide what pieces I want where. I've got my side pieces. We said we weren't going to bother inking the side pieces. Put those in there like that. And the end piece, and I'll come back to you when we're done. So I've glued my bits and pieces inside my box, and we've just got this one piece to stick on the edge, on the back, and I've just put my, what do you call it, carved pumpkin away. So we're just going to come in with a bit of mustard seed and a bit of cut and dry foam just to come around here. And I'm sorry you're getting shadow. Yeah, it is dark, and I just want to get this out of the way because we're quite busy this week, and just want to keep my promise to you of uploading every day. I know you're probably sick of the sound and sight of me, not that you're seeing my face, and you'll be glad for that because it's a right state, my face. So yeah, we're just going to glue this on the end of our box. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get ahead and do as much as I can, and I'm way behind on people's videos. I'm way behind on art journal challenge. I haven't done my child page. Need to do that. Right, there's our little box complete. I love it. It is so cute. Let's see if our tea lights fit in. This way it could all go horribly wrong. Oh, they do fit in nice and snugly. Oh, and these ones, the frankincense and myrrh, smell divine. So we wanted this to be the front of our, or top of our box. Look how cute is that. It's really heavy as well. That would make a really nice table favour, as I say, or a lovely little Secret Santa gift, or just because, or whatever. Actually, I've decided, because I like that little star there, I'm going to put this way around there. Yes, and it just needs a little something to finish off the top of the box now. And I am going to, I've cut already with my, I think it's a 1.5 inch circle punch, a black circle, and put a hole in it, and I've used some of this Lurex thread doubled over, and I'm going to stick that there like so, I think. Let's pop a bit of this on. Stick that like that. It is hanging off a little bit, but I don't mind that. And then I've gone ahead and out of my background paper I've cut a little, I think it's a 1 inch circle, and stamped Noel. I haven't got very many small words, and I was looking for a star or a shine, and I was looking at my Tim Holtz peel offs, and there was nothing that, you know, was the right size or sentiment. Yeah, so it's quite difficult, but I've found Noel, which I think is quite nice, which is Julie Hickey. By the way, I should point out I am not sponsored by Hazel or Julie Hickey. Yes, I'm just going to put a little foam pad on the back of this and stick it on there at a jaunty angle. And there we have another little gift. I love this, and I'm in love with these mica stains. Love them. Really, really glitzy. Yes, I shall be back tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye now.